this year's going by so fast. I don't know if it's just me, but it just really feels like it's all zooming by. But the board has been very busy in accomplishing its tasks. Before we begin, I'd like to acknowledge the following groups. First, let's acknowledge the presence of the HIMAP board. They have been working hard, like I said, on their initiatives, and we will be hearing from all of them for their accomplishments for 2022. We should also acknowledge the HIMAP partners and sponsors for today. So let's give a round of applause for Pacific Cross and Immersion. They are online, and we will give them a chance to turn on their videos. And thank you for your contributions so that we can have a great meeting today. And lastly, I'd like to acknowledge all of you participating HIMAP members. Without all of you, we could not have a functioning association. And so before we begin, let's go ahead and start with the invocation. I know we have a slide on that. So everyone, please place yourself in the presence of our Lord. Heavenly Father, hear our prayers and be in the midst of our second quarter general membership meeting today. Thank you that your presence calms the troubled sea of life and speaks peace to our souls. Give us clear minds and peaceful hearts as we gather together today. Thank you for being our source of guidance today. Amen.
Amen.
That is a lovely prayer.
Yeah.
Amen.
Okay, so I think I've already introduced myself as the host and MC for today. I would like to then introduce our first speaker. He has been with HIMAP as a board of trustees since 2018, and he is now serving as our dear president. Everyone, please give a warm welcome to Mr. Vincent Remo. He will be giving our opening remarks and our president's report.
Yes, hello, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the call. Welcome to our second quarter general membership meeting. It's been a while since we've had this, or we've had the first quarter just a few months ago, first quarter meeting, and now it's already second quarter. Time flies, right? It's almost half a year already that we're here with you in terms of our programs, in terms of the services that we offer our member companies. As you know, in HIMAP, we we continue to promote our industry. We continue to try and develop talents for our industry, and we continue to collaborate with one another for the purpose of inclusive growth, meaning all of us growing together in terms of our individual companies, businesses, services, and solutions, but as one industry for the healthcare information management services, so that the Philippines would be the destination of choice for all our global partners. So for this quarter, basically actually even inclusive of the first quarter, we have had a lot of activities already, and I'd like and happy to report all of them from here on. So first, for the industry promotion and linkage, we have had international events. In the first quarter, we actually had two. One is the face-to-face HIMSS 2022 and the US Roadshow in Orlando, San Francisco, and Los Angeles in early March, middle of March actually. And then upon coming back, we had our webinar with a group from Australia, headed by or organized by our trade representative from Sydney. And then as of this time, we are looking at, and Gail will be reporting this in detail later, looking at number 3 here, the BioAsia Taiwan Conference this July. And together with number 4, together with our partners from the trade representatives from the European region, we are actually trying or exploring possible roundtable awareness sessions in the European region. And other than that, of course, we are looking forward to the other activities this year, although not written here. HIMSSCon will always be there. And then planning for next year's HIMSS conference. And on top of that, we are looking for other possible participation in some events in Europe, like the Digital Healthcare Show. We're looking into that. An outsourcing conference and shared services forum in Berlin next year. So all of those are being explored right now, being checked if it's going to be good for our members, and if so, we will try to organize some delegation for those events. Next slide, please. On the local scene, we have actually tried to promote our industry to some. I mean, this is particularly for Region 6 with the DTI of Region 6, Western Visayas, so that well, our aim is to introduce our industry, and so that the areas there, the provinces would be able to help us with our talent development as well, talent acquisition and development. On top of that, we have participated in some of the events also by DTI in terms of the Competitiveness and Innovation Group headed by USEC Fita Aldaba. And we were invited as panelists for some of the events there. And we certainly provided some insights about the healthcare information management services industry. We also are taking part in the ICT Kapihan forum, which was launched last May, and it was John Dave of the Capability Development Team who represented HIMAP there. And we're, again, as mentioned, we're exploring a lot of partnerships with the groups from Europe, inclusive of the trade representatives, as well as the European Chamber of Commerce. So we met them last early June, this June, and we're trying to come up with some initiatives that would benefit both sides, both parties. Next slide, please. Of course, we continue to promote our industry, and as we do, we have some projects with DICT and the DTI, particularly the Export Marketing Bureau, for us to have more channels to promote our industry. One of which is the HIMSS aggregator website, which could be our marketplace for our HIMSS services. That will be explained later by our communications committee, and as well as the project called Export Accelerator Program, wherein online content would be gathered by our Export Marketing Bureau, and for us to have a common, or I mean a standard AVP for the industry. So that one is also ongoing. It's currently, we had the kickoff a few weeks back, and it's currently under planning. So next slide, please. In terms of the capability and of course the capacity build up, we are introducing our industry to the digital cities. So we're participating in the digital cities program of the ICT. These digital cities would be the next target destination for expansion, okay, of our industry. Well, the whole IT-BPM industry, and HIMAP is participating in that by introducing our industry to the different ICT councils so that they would have an idea as to what we do, and then for them to be able to plan a strategy if or to check particularly whether they can cater to our industry. And on the latter part of this program, they will be pitching to us, to our member companies, and say that we can do you can do business with us. You can locate in our locations because we have this and this, and this is what we will provide you if you decide to locate in our cities. So that's a digital cities program. Next slide. We also have the TESDA Tulong Trabaho program, which started late last year in December. And the first batch of training was completed in February of 2022. It is actually part of the report of CAPDE, but I will be covering this for today. Examination was held in March and April, and the graduation of the first batch was held in May 18. And there was a total number of trainees so far, 70. And then there are 3 participating member companies who have completed the training and 1 that is ongoing. And then we have 2 training companies who are participating in this, as of course the trainer for this program. So we thank everyone who's participating in this, and we hope that this has contributed to more employees, to more FTEs, to your roster of medical coders, and so that you can expand your business after getting certified. Next. And then we're also participating in the 2022 Upskilling Initiative project proposed by DICT and TESDA. It's a partnership between DICT and TESDA. And actually, this is a nationwide upskilling project that will be open to the IT BPM sector. So this project, well, it's under planning as of this time, and a lot of things will happen from July onwards. So watch out for further announcement. But there's already a budget here, and then uh, there's already a target pilot that's going to happen in early second semester of 2022. So July onwards, things will happen. So watch out for that. Next slide. And again, some of the key activities that's ongoing related to this one would be the consultation with the subsectors. Of course, we are part of the consultation in this one. And of course, after that, the design of the project and then the government procurement process. So that's what's going to happen in the coming months. Next slide, please. So okay, maybe yeah. So for the skills framework, okay, there's another thing that DICT Philippine Skills Framework Project. This one, on the other hand, is the DICT would like to have a standard framework for the IT BPM industry, of course, subdivided into subsectors, including HIMAP, including the healthcare information management services. The purpose of this is for the other departments of the government, like for example, CHED, and also the DTI, for example, to have a common framework in referring the skills required for each of the IT BPM subsectors. So we're again participating in this one so that the healthcare information management services sector would be represented in terms of the framework for the how to call the needed skills, how to term and how to define the needed skills for this industry. Next slide, please. Again, so this is just the timeline and the stages. There's stage 1 to 6, starting from October to March 2023. And don't worry, you'll be informed of this accordingly, particularly if there is a need for some volunteers or for some participation from our member companies. Definitely our capability development head would reach out to you, and of course the secretariat will reach out to you so that you could help out, so you could we can have your inputs to this skill framework, so that our voices would be heard in terms of the skills needed in our industry. Next slide, please. Okay, so roles and responsibilities. I won't go through these details anymore, but our capability development committee, and actually it's this particular task is being headed by John Dave Duenas. They're working tirelessly with our DICT partners, and I believe there is also a consultant from Singapore that's working with them on this, and there's a lot of meetings. Hopefully, it would boil down to the more tangible action items that we could all benefit from. Next slide, please. Sige. And then, yes, these are just some of the tentative tracks that would be tackled there, like medical claims, workers' compensation, and things like that. So we'll give you more of this. We'll give more details as the project develops, because this is just the initial one, and I think once finalized, we would need to calibrate this together with the members, and our cap dev will be reaching out to you in relation to this one. But for today, it's an introduction. It's I mean, it's a backgrounder that we have this initiative, and we hope that our members would be able to participate as well. Next slide, please. All right. In terms of inclusive growth, of course, we are all familiar with our learning sessions, our information sessions. We've had a couple of those sessions already, starting as early as February, and then in March, April, May. I think every month we're having at least one of those sessions. And then the latest one happened last week, actually, June 10. This is the MSME session, which was headed by our SME Council, care of Team Mobley here. So the learning sessions and the information sessions, on the other hand, are being handled by the MEMCOM, the membership committee headed by Judy. So you see your bots, no, are really very, very busy in trying to make sure that everybody is included. Or yeah, we aim for inclusive growth, and this is one of the ways we do it, by having joint sessions together, and by making sure that at least the sessions are beneficial to all members. So watch out for the next sessions. I think there's can you go back to the slide? I think there's one more in October for the MSME, and there are several upcoming info sessions late this June. Okay, so be sure to register and take part, so that we will all benefit from the knowledge and the wisdom of the great speakers and the panelists that we have invited for all of these events. Next slide, please. So on top of that, we are participating. Number 4, we are participating in the IT BPM Roadmap 2028. We are, again, as part of the IBPAP initiative, they're doing the roadmap exercise again for the next 6 years, 2022 to 2028. And we are taking part in that, so that we can carve the road, or the path for our industry for the next 6 years. Okay, we have had several meetings with the Everest Group. The Everest Group is the consulting firm that's tasked to do this roadmap exercise for up to 2028. And we have been interviewed several times, and we are trying to give our own input, so that our industry would have a better footing and a better set of information for all stakeholders in our industry. So there will be a main roadmap and a subsector roadmap, just like the last exercise. Each subsector, including HIMAP, would have their own roadmap, subsector roadmap. On top of that, we are doing internal research activity as well, headed by the Research and Policy Committee of ANSHUM, to complement or to add more substance, really, and more in-depth analysis and research of, particularly, I guess this will focus on where our talents are, how do we develop them, and things like that. So those are being handled by our HIMAP committees. Next is on the membership. Currently we have 67 members, and we wish there'd be more members. But as you can see, the first quarter we had 3 new members, and second quarter we have 2 more. So our membership committee, headed by Judy, they're working very hard, and hopefully you can refer some other companies to us. We are doing a lot of activities. We're doing a lot of things for the members, and I hope that more and more companies would benefit from the initiatives that our organization is doing. Next slide, please. All right, other updates. I think this is one from the upskilling, so you can skip this one. All right, so just to let you know on the our partnership with the ICT, where we have been approved of certain sum of certain amount in terms of budget for the different programs that we are thinking, at least for the latter part of the year. We still have the HIMSCon. We're trying to develop an aggregator website, which is a marketplace for HIMAP member companies, developing or updating our subsector AVP, so that we would have an improved version from the one we have right now. And of course, the research is also receiving some subsidy from our partners in the ICT, from our partner, the ICT. So I guess those are most of the updates. Those are the updates. As you can see, I took a lot of time because there's really a lot of things happening here in HIMAP, and we hope that you would be able to participate in all of those activities. And we look forward to seeing all of you in all of these activities. Thank you very much, and good afternoon.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. President. Appreciate the President's report for the first half of this year. There are a lot of things that we have to look forward to, as well as the activities that have been accomplished with our partners, especially with DTI, the National ICT Confederation, the European Chamber of Commerce. I know for Visaya, we're very grateful for the Testa Tulong Trabajo program. We are one of those 3 member companies that have availed of this, and it went smoothly. I'm very glad that went by. And I hope that other members will be able to work with HIMAP so that we can continue this program. My understanding is TESDA would like to continue, and they definitely would like to see more members participate. And I think we can make that happen. All right, so with that, we go to our next speaker, and she is our primary speaker for today. So we all need to give a warm welcome for Ms. Sunshine Gidayawan. With 20 years of work experience in various industries such as BPO, medical insurance, and HMO, she has played different roles from customer service, customer development, sales, talent development, distribution, and even sales training. She is the head of the Center for Distribution and Sales Training of Pacific Cross, and she hails all the way from Cebu City, our fellow Visayan, Ms. Sunshine Gidayawan. Let's all give a welcome, please.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon to all of the attendees today. All right. So thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to share to you important data as far as, healthcare is concerned. And thank you so much for inviting us as well in your event or in your meeting today. Thank you, Julian, and thank you, Sir Vincent. Thank you so much. So I would just like to start though, and we all know naman that healthy employees function well and are more productive at work. However, if they're healthy, we all know that. However, when they get sick, by the way, I would just like to check if my screen is functioning well. Can you see my screen now?
Not yet.
Not yet. It's still has started screen sharing, but yeah.
All right.
It didn't
So hold on.
show up.
Let me just check. Ayan, what's screen shared is screen 2. How about that?
Yes, I think we're good.
Yes,
Yeah.
there you go. All right. So, yes, going back. So we all know that healthy employees function well naman if they're healthy. And whenever they get sick, worrying about the very expensive medical treatment can actually add to their anxiety and, eventually affect their work results. And we also know that as a responsible leader, you have already done your part in providing the employees with the medical benefits that they should have. However, with the inflating medical rates right now, unfortunately or sadly, you all know that that won't be enough. So working with HR or as a human resource practitioner, we all know that particular struggle, especially to the leaders out here, we know that what we provide will never be enough for our staff or to our employees, even to some executives in the office. It does not matter if it is actually an insurance that's part of an HMO or it is an individual insurance for executives. But of course, we cannot be able to satisfy all of it, definitely. There will be budget restrictions or budget constraints. We mentioned earlier about inflation, medical inflation, and not to mention, of course, the economic inflation. We all know how much the gasoline is right now, right? So what do we need to do? I mean, we believe that we need to open doors or to provide opportunities for our people, for our staff, to be able to look for ways to provide themselves and their loved ones further, right? So I would like to share to you a short story and a very good realization though. When a friend of mine was diagnosed with diabetes or DM2 particularly, very common, Filipinos lifestyle, he was confident because he has an HMO provided by his company. And he was a supervisor level. So the maximum benefit limit that was given to him was higher compared to the rank and file employees. Now, he started going through a series of tests, checkups, maintenance medicines. So, given that in 1 year, or given those in 1 year, how much do you think will that person spend, or how much do you think my friend spent for that? Eventually, my friend experienced confinement a couple of times in a year. His company provided HMO was able to cover most of the medical expenses, although my friend also had to spend out of his pocket for some of the expenses as well. Eventually, the illness got complicated, and it took toll on his productivity at work, and at the same time his financial status. The expenses got bigger, and his out-of-pocket expenses was out of control. In fact, he exhausted his HMO coverage on the first quarter of the year. Therefore, the expenses for the rest of the year came from his own money, right? Now, here in our country, Philippines, 1 out of 14 Filipino adults live with diabetes, making this disease consistently one of the top 10 leading causes of death um, here in the Philippines. And the average cost of diabetes complication would range from 500,000 to millions. And this would include dialysis, kidney transplant, cardiovascular or heart disease, stroke, and a lot more. Cardiovascular diseases. Cardiovascular disease is the leading cause of deaths globally. From the World Health Organization non-communicable disease country profile, the Philippines, cardiovascular disease or CVD or heart disease accounts for approximately 20% of the total deaths and 35% premature deaths. That's affecting 1 out of 6 Filipinos, or 1 out of every 6 Filipinos. And the average cost of a heart procedure ranges from 750,000 to a million. I would also like to mention the average cost of 200,000 pesos per day for hospitalization under ICU treatment, since this would be a possibility once a diabetic patient with a heart complication or a kidney complication could have, and as well as COVID or other illnesses are confined. Now, these costs are actually based on Pacific Cross's paid claims as of October 2020. Since I have already mentioned, or I was already talking about dreaded illnesses, let me also take this opportunity to share to you the data on the other dreaded illness or dreaded disease such as cancer, which is also one of the most painful and most difficult disease to have. Definitely, it is responsible for 10% of the deaths in our country, having an average conservative cost of cancer treatments ranging from 700,000 up to 3 million. And here comes COVID-19, which continuously records daily infections and is regarded as the third leading cause of death in the Philippines that we never expected. Pacific Cross was actually one of the first insurance companies that provided COVID-19 coverage when the pandemic started. And based on Pacific Cross's paid claims, as of October 2020, the average cost of COVID-19 treatments and hospitalizations ranges from 500,000 to 7.8 million pesos. With the company provided HMO that usually ranges from 100,000 to 250,000 pesos, and given the possible medical costs that's mentioned earlier, and with the flu season coming in, the dengue season on hand right now, yes, that company provided HMO is really a great help to our employees. But do they have something to back them up? Just a thought. Other than their current HMO, and with their current HMO coverage, will their current HMO coverage be enough? Now, we're just looking at one question on the slide, but we can think of a lot of thoughts, a lot of things that we can do. And now my question would be, how many of you here right now, how many companies here provided medical assistance on top or outside of the medical coverage to their employees who are affected with the pandemic? We cannot deny it, actually. The company also feels that we are obliged to do it or to do that. But what if we can actually provide an opportunity to our employees to, protect themselves further, or just open doors for them, so that your company does not actually have to pay for it, or it won't cost a thing for your company though. Now, in a study conducted last 2019, 37% out of the 1,350 Filipino respondents that we had, 37% rely on savings, right, to pay for their medical treatments. 25% sought for financial assistance from relatives. And 15% rely on insurance or PhilHealth or personal insurance though, right? So having said that, here is a list of the plans that we have for Pacific Cross. I don't have to go through them. We have individual plans, corporate plans, travel plans, personal accident insurance. So before I end this presentation, I would like to quote Mr. Nelson Mandela when he said, "One cannot be prepared for something while secretly believing it will not happen. It may happen, just don't know how and when. There is no exemption to these uncertainties, even though the healthiest person gets sick or the most fit person gets sick. What's important is us making sure our people will have enough or will have more than enough." So thank you so much for listening to my very short presentation. And our first call to action actually normally is similar to other forms of insurances. The call to action is to always act now. And I believe we need to educate our employees, our families, and our friends, right? Spread the news that they have options. Let them ask questions. Let them ask the question: do I have enough? Enough coverage, enough protection, enough money, enough savings, enough to take care of themselves and their loved ones, right? So once again, thank you so much for listening, and good afternoon. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Ms. Sunshine. You know what they say, you always go to the hospital at least twice in your life, once in the beginning and once in the end. And of course, we all want all of the trips in the middle to be as little as possible. But certainly during this pandemic, we've all realized how much we want to have that financial security, right? So we definitely understand the need for the insurance. I will give it's a unpaid endorsement. I am also personally part of Pacific Cross on top of our healthcare HMO in the office, and they have excellent customer service. So just wanted to give that endorsement over to Ms. Sunshine and Pacific Cross. Thank you again for being sponsors for today's HIMAP General Membership Meeting. Very much appreciated. Thank you, Sunshine.
Thank you, Sir Julian.
All right, our third speaker for today, she is the head of our communications. Sorry, I guess we are going to go straight into the membership committee chair. So we will go ahead and invite the head of our membership committee, Ms. Judy Weisenhunt, and she will go ahead and share with us, I guess, the program for the membership committee. And then after that, we will also be inducting 2 new members. As Vince mentioned, we will have 2 new members for Q2. Miss Judy.
Thank you, Julian. Thank you very much for the introduction. So Cherry, maybe you can share our, can you share our membership committee presentation first before the induction is, okay. Thank you. Okay, I just want to give you some updates on the first 2 quarters of 2022 under the membership committee. So I'm Judy Wisenhunt, and I'm heading the group, and with me are the following. We have Jenny Marshall from Optum, Net Rosell from JBW Managed Services. We have Attorney Lynn from Cognizant. I'm being supported by my co-chair Gail Macapagal and John Dave. So thank you for the hard work and the commitment to support the members, our members in HIMAP. Okay, for as our president said, we only have 67 members, and hopefully at the end of the year, we're going to be at the 70s or 75. So that's our target. So in the last quarter, we have approved 3 new members, Legato Health, we have Centara, as well as Phoenix Virtual Solution. And for today, we're gonna induct 2 new members, FBC Asia Pacific Incorporated and Healthcare Coding and Billing Institute. Okay, so next slide please. Okay, so that just to share to you the demographics of our members. So we have 36 members under clinical documentation, or equivalent to 54%. Under healthcare IT provider, these are the IT solutions companies, which is 14 companies, equivalent to 21%. And we also have some vendor partners. These are the support teams or corporate partners that we have. We have 12, which is equivalent to 18% of our members. And of course, the training companies that supporting us on our training capabilities, which is equivalent to 4 members. Hopefully we'll increase that. So that's equivalent to 6%. And of course, our association partners, PRCB, which is 1%. So we're hoping and encouraging everyone to also refer to us, new companies coming in, or new healthcare institution that have not been a member of HIMAP. Please refer them to me and to the secretariat, as well as to our executive director. Next slide, please. So recent, if I'm not mistaken, last week we have sent you some updates. We've sent you a form for you to update your primary representative, as well as some details about your company's in terms of your campaigns in the healthcare domains. So currently we have 23 members with less than 500 FTEs. We have 12 companies who have not disclosed the data, and I'm encouraging everyone to please try to help us and support us to get more data from your team. This is being treated confidentially, and we don't disclose it to anyone. We just need this for our reference as part of the HIMAP BOT. So 20 big companies are also part of the members, and these are composed of 500 FTEs and above. And of course, we have 12 vendors and corporate partners. So again, we'll try to increase this with your help. So aside from the interviewing and evaluating new members, the membership committee is also in charge of the learning sessions, as well as the info sessions being held every other Friday. So to date, we already have done 4 learning sessions and info sessions. During last February, we had the Global Chess Opportunities. Last February, we have the first info session, which is the Developing HIMSS Industry through Government Partnership. And you'll see here, I really very appreciative with all our speakers and panelists, as well as moderator. Will not be successful without them providing us their insights and participating and helping the members to providing and educate them. The purpose of this learning and info session is really to educate, to provide insights, to build the capabilities of the members. And of course, if we have the face-to-face session, definitely there will be some networking and more social engagement. However, for this time, we're only doing virtual. Hopefully, before the end of the year, we're going to have our face-to-face. So for the month of March, we also celebrated the women in the healthcare. We honored and gave tribute to 10 selected women in the healthcare industry. This includes our the current chairman of the board, Ms. Ben Coronel. And of course, we also had our first quarter GMM. And following that, we also, last May, we also had another session, another successful learning session, which is boosting healthcare operational efficiency with a very good guest speaker, also a BOT, Mr. Anshum Sinha, and of course, J.L. Bator from Pointwest also helped us in moderating this session. And thank you also for Patrick and Romel Regasa as our panelists. And last May as well, May 20th, I think we had around 120 participants in this session. The topic was very relevant in our current situation. It's about work from home, wherein we invited the Department of Labor as well as the legal from PW Philippines discussing the labor regulations and tax implication. So thank you very much for all our speakers again, and of course the participants. We're encouraging all the members to send your team members, not just the leaders, but also some people from the managerial positions and other positions that you feel that will be needing this information to be more effective in their positions. So there will be upcoming events, okay, from June 29 up to December 9. We already have calendar this, but of course, if you want to be part of this sessions as speaker or panelist, feel free to connect with our secretariat. So from June 29, our topic will be about infrastructure, technology, and of course, real estate. And then on July 8, it's about the IT provider, healthcare provider. And August 5, this will be the support team, the training, the recruitment, and other and the HR group supporting the healthcare industry. And on the 16th of September, again, we will have our third quarter GMM. And October 12 will be the last learning session, which will be focused more on the SME. And of course, let's be ready on December 9. That's our last GMM, fourth quarter GMM, but at the same time, we will be celebrating our Christmas party. So with that, thank you very much. And I look forward to everyone to continuously support all the sessions, initiatives of all the committees of HIMAP. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Judy, for that informational on the membership committee. I will say the learning and information sessions has been a highlight during this pandemic times. You know, as a leader of an organization, you always want to be able to validate that the strategies that we implement within the organization is correct. And I would say that HIMAP has been very helpful in making sure that, you know, to provide that validation and to understand where we're at, right? During the pandemic, we had emergency scenarios that have never happened before. And I think the strength of HIMAP is that we can reach out to other members and, you know, validate again, like I said, what we're doing is correct. And so given that, I am very proud that we will now be inducting 2 additional new members to our ranks. So as I call you out, please turn on your video and unmute so that we can recognize you. I will do the introduction, and then Miss Judy will be the one to do the oath taking. So first up is FBC Asia Pacific. They are an outsourced customer service provider offering call center services for inbound, outbound, and omni-channel support. They provide voice, chat, administrative, and specialist support services out of our delivery centers in the Philippines and Sri Lanka. And their engagement model is robust and transparent with cutting-edge remote working, home working solutions. The representatives, Mr. Elju Franz Reguera, the Head of Operations, Training and Quality, and Nessel Casiano, Head of Client Relations. Please turn on your video and unmute your microphones.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon.
Hello, Nessel. Good afternoon.
Hi.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Sir Julian.
Hello, Elju. Miss Elju.
Miss.
Hi, good afternoon.
And then we will go ahead and also introduce our second member. And then that way we can do the introduction or the oath taking together. So Cherry, if we can do the next company. All right, so Healthcare Coding and Billing Institute, or HCBI. It is the first AAPC accredited medical coding school in the Philippines and holds one of the highest documented passing rates in the world. For the past 11 years, they have produced over 4,000 graduates and are still growing. And their representative is Mario Fernandez, their CEO. Welcome, HCBI.
Thank you. Thank you, Julian. Good afternoon, everyone.
There you go, Sir Mario. So Judy, I guess, please take it away.
Judy, you're on mute.
I'm on mute. Sorry for that. So please raise your right hand. Okay, and repeat after me. Okay, so I state your name,
I, Mario Fernandez,
serving as an official representative of your company. State your company, please.
serving as
Serving
the official representative
of
HCBI.
Asia Pacific.
Pacific.
Having been accepted as a new member of Healthcare Information Management Association of the Philippines, or HIMAP.
Having been accepted as a new member of Healthcare Information Management Association of the Philippines.
Okay. Do hereby solemnly swear to respect and uphold its constitution and bylaws.
We hereby solemnly swear to respect its Constitution and bylaws.
To be active in its various functions, programs, and activities.
Be active in its various functions, programs, and activities.
And to comply with all duties and responsibilities of a full-fledged member.
And to comply with all the duties and responsibilities of a full-fledged member.
In so doing, we promise to voluntarily contribute our resources to.
In so doing, we promise to voluntarily contribute resources and share
our expertise with association.
Our expertise in association.
Bearing in mind that such endeavor will help propel the growth of the HIMSS industry of the Philippines.
Bearing in mind that such endeavor will help propel the growth of the HIMSS industry of the Philippines.
And we will uphold HIMAP prescribed ethical standards by working with full integrity in the conduct of our business.
And we will uphold the association's prescribed ethical standards by working with full integrity in the conduct of our business.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Then this 17th day of June 2022 in the general membership meeting by HIMAP. Okay, so congratulations to all of you. And I would like to request our board of directors or board of trustees to turn on their camera to congratulate our new members.
Congratulations. And
Congratulations.
Yes.
Thank you.
Mario.
Thank you.
Welcome to HIMAP. Welcome to
Maybe
HIMAP.
photo ops.
Congratulations.
Yes, so let's photo ops for the new members together with the BOT, please.
Okay, so at the count of 3, 1, 2,
Hi.
3. One more time. 1, 2, 3. Smile. Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, congratulations. Thank you very much.
Welcome to HIMAP.
Thank
Welcome
you.
to HIMAP, guys. Welcome.
All right, congratulations to our 2 additional members. Judy, point of clarification, are these 2 new members included in the number 67, or does this bring us to 69?
No, they're included. They're already
they're
included.
in 67.
Okay.
All right,
So I
we're
still
almost
need
there to 75.
more.
Almost there to 75. Very good.
Yes.
Okay, so Cherry, if you can get back to the next presentation.
Sure.
All right. So our next speaker is the head of our communications committee, our HIMAP assistant treasurer, Ms. Lara Cuesta.
Good afternoon, everyone. And our main project for the year for the Communications Committee is a much awaited refresh of our HIMAP website. It's not been very interactive in many years. I think this was designed 5 years ago. And okay, I think we can see it on the screen. So just very quickly, it's an overview for those of you who are not familiar with our website. The headers on top are what you will see when you open it, and all the drop downs are right below it. So most probably you are using only the events part of it to go back to some of the educational or informational sessions where the Secretariat has uploaded our events. The other part that is semi-interactive, at least it takes you to the websites of the different groups, is the members category, where you can click on the logos and that will bring you right to our partners' websites for more information. So what we propose to do this year, Cherry, if you can go to the next slide, is to add some more features that will make it more interactive, more usable for all of us. So for example, and please do feel free to make more suggestions. What do you feel will be most useful for you? What will be most engaging and will stimulate participation among the membership? We'd like to add a new segment where you can publish research or white papers, exchange ideas. Perhaps we can put a category with opportunities as well. Tulong Trabaho and other programs from TESDA, or perhaps even training that is sponsored by our members, and potentially maybe jobs, any openings that we would like to share within the immediate group and get opportunities from each other. And then events and registration. I know that we have been sending out by Viber the link to a registration page, and this is another way of doing it directly on the website, where you can also read all of the events, the agenda for what's going to happen next. Now, not here because we really didn't know how to put it down on paper, but the aggregator part of it is something that is probably the biggest feature in terms of usability. Judy had mentioned earlier that we sent out to our main contacts an update sheet, and this is where we are going to get the most important part here, the services that each member company provides, so that it can be a searchable site. Whoever wants or is interested in availing of our services or connecting with any one of our members can put in the search box, say, for example, coding or billing or revenue cycle management or whatever it is. And all of the companies that are doing that kind of work will show up. And there will be an opportunity to connect with those companies. So that's still in the works, and we are working out what other service the organization can provide in terms of connecting the searchers as well as the service providers. So let us know if there are other things that you feel will be useful to enhance our website. And related to this, on the next slide, Cherry, we will be piloting this and determine the need for a social media manager to really manage this and to respond in a timely manner to inquiries and comments, as well as manage the FB page. So right now, the status for this is we are sourcing out the vendors for the content as well as graphic designers. Okay, that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Laura. That's very exciting that we're finally updating the HIMAP website, especially at
Yes.
this time of pandemic. You know, we used to be able to meet each other quite often in person. And so we've had to find other ways of actually networking and getting together. I think the aggregator part where we can place what our services are will be huge in terms of, you know, helping clients validate who we are, right? I mean, oftentimes when we meet new clients, they want to make sure that we are who we say we are and that we can do what we say we can do. And it will be great that, you know, we can even have that in the HIMAP website. Quick question, actually, if that's all right. I know I'm the host, but as a member as well, will we be able to update that on a regular basis? Is that the
Yes. Yes, it provides an opportunity for the members to put something on the website.
Wonderful. Yeah, and then, you know, as our services change and evolve,
That's right.
of course, it would be great to update. And then even contact information. Some people will like it, some people won't, but at least give them the option of being able to place contact info if that's possible.
Absolutely, yes.
Very good. Since you asked for any other suggestions, I open the floor if anybody else has suggestions, or they can tap Lara offline.
Sure, drop us a note, let us know. And as we move forward with the project, do expect us to reach out to you. Some of you might have special requests as you load something to the website. So more to come.
Absolutely. Oh, and you know, let me also just say, since this is the communications committee presentation for the new members, the Viber group of HIMAP is a very useful tool, right? I mean, during the lockdowns, it was infinitely useful to understand what's happening. And as the government updates, and even up to now, you know, what's happening with the work from home, all of that goes through the Viber group. So please make sure to add yourself there, and you will see how the networking and the value of the networking through that tool is very useful to all the HIMAP members. Yes, another plug for the communications committee.
Thank you, Julian.
All right, thank you very much, Lara, for that presentation. Next up, I would like to call the head of, or I guess I'll ask Cherry for the slide first.
Yes.
Yeah, the head of the SME Council Committee Chair, Mr. Tim Mobley. He will give us an update on what happened on the first Let's Go Digital session last June 13th.
Thank you, Julian. So I was really happy with how this turned out. I think we had 76 attendees, which is just over one per member. So I think there was some interest, and hopefully we met folks, you know, met their what they're interested in. This is a session. It's targeted for SMEs, and especially now with pandemic and the difficulty of traveling and in-person marketing, we wanted to help a little bit with ideas for digital marketing. And so some brainstorming with Cherry and Kathy and Laura and a few others helped. We came up with this idea of having a speaker who would sort of explain best practices about digital marketing, and Stephanie turned out to be great. And then we get two panelists who were sort of actually practitioners doing this kind of work on a day-to-day basis for their companies, and that worked out well. And also big props to JL as a moderator. I was impressed. I didn't know he knew so much about this and could ask so many questions. So he really helped to make it successful. So for the SME Council, I think we set a high standard for ourselves that we're going to have to meet in October. And we go on to the next one, please. Oh, there's a. So in October, No, the next one, please. Thank you, Cherry. That was the event. In October, Plan A is to work with Laura and the Communications Council. And I agree with Julian, excuse me. I'm super excited about this. I think it's important as part of our digital marketing. And once you get into digital marketing, establishing backlinks and connections and content creation is important. And having this aggregator site that we can all interact with sort of helps everyone create a bigger online presence. So I'm not 100% sure that that's going to be ready to launch and educate folks on how to use it. If it is, that's what we'll do in October. And if it isn't, we want to do something about using new technologies for operations, using RPA and automation for some sort of workflows for especially at the SME scale. And I have some ideas about that will firm up once we get more visibility into the online marketplace. And I would say, I think that's it. And as always, I certainly appreciate any suggestions or recommendations anyone has on what would be of interest. Either we'll try to do it this year, or we can pass it on to folks for next year. So with that, any questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you very much, Tim. Appreciate the update. I was actually sad that I missed that first digital session because it was right after, it was the long holiday, right? But I will make sure to join part 2. And regarding that, interaction on the website, again, it's crucially important on one end in terms of marketing for that validation, right? To really say who we are is real. And there are so many different vendors out there, but just to have that stamp of approval in a way that we are active HIMAP members in this large marketplace that we call the Philippines, that will really help us stand out. So I'm hoping that I'm looking forward to hearing updates on that, and good luck. And if you need any help, I'll be happy to also volunteer my services as well, Tim.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Tim. Next up, this woman does not need any introduction from me, but I'm very proud to introduce Ms. Gail Macapagal. She is the Marketing Committee Chair and our fearless HIMAP Vice President. She's going to be giving us an update on the HIMSS Roadshow, partnership events with the government, and an update on the coming HIMSSCon in 2022, which I heard from Gail, this might be in person or maybe hybrid. Let's see how that goes.
That's right, Julian. Thank you so much for hosting today. So the marketing committee met with the DTI Philippine Trade and Investment Centers in Europe. As you all know, guys, HIMAP members are, one of our goal is to really go outside the US market and try to penetrate Europe as well. So we will be having a webinar roundtable dialogue on awareness building with Philippine HIMSS companies and target European companies in early September 2022. We will have a possible collaboration and participation of HIMAP in the Digital Healthcare Show in London on April 26 to 27, 2023, organized by the Health Plus Care UK, and other possible collaboration or participation of HIMAP as partner and presenter in the Outsourcing Conference and Shared Services Forum, organized by the German Outsourcing Association. Next slide, please, Cherry. And this one, the DTI Philippine Trade and Investment Center in Taiwan, they're inviting all of us to the Bio Asia Conference in Taipei on July 27 and 29 of this year. So there will be a booth exhibit, just like the normal HIMSS setup. There is a quarantine period of 3 days in Taipei though. So we're looking at this, and we will be sending out a survey to all member companies who would want to join us. Of course, the normal out-of-pocket cost of participants would be airfare, accommodation, quarantine cost, and admin fee for HIMAP. So we will be sending out this survey. If not, today by early next week so that we can gauge your participation for the Bio Asia Conference in Taipei on July 27 and 29. And yeah, touching on the HIMSCon for this year, we're planning to do a 3-day conference, tentatively on November 9, 10, and 11. And we're planning to do a hybrid event for us to be able to see each other again. So that's it for the marketing committee. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you very much, Gail. Very much looking forward to seeing what we can do with Europe. I think in our 15-year history of Visay, we've only had, I think maybe 2 European clients. Vast majority have been American. But I will say, the British, they must be some of the kindest clients that are out there. And so very much looking forward to the initiatives for our marketing on that point.
I have a question for Gail.
Go ahead.
Okay, Gail, can you tell us a little bit more about the Taiwanese conference? What exactly will that? Because I'm not familiar with that. So.
Okay, sir. Sure, Sir Mario. The conference is called Bio Asia Conference. It's going to be on July 27, 29, as mentioned. And the Philippines, or our PTIC in Taiwan, Director Anthony Rivera is in charge of inviting us, the HIMAP members, and building a delegation. So we will be sending out a survey to those who are interested. So what will happen there is, aside from the conference, the 3-day conference, we will also be having a booth where we will be an exhibitor, and the members or the participants of the conference can go into our booth and we can have business-to-business meetings with them. The PTIC in Taiwan is also planning to have a road show, or not a road show, but a business matching opportunity or a business matching forum for the members that will be attending, for the PTIC to introduce us, if you want to participate, to companies in Taiwan.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, and Mario, as a follow-up to that, it sounds like the setup for this is very similar to the HIMSS conference that HIMAP also participated with PTIC in the United States. And I will say it has been a great source of leads this year. So clients are present, and if it's similar to that, I think that could be a very good option.
All right, thank you again.
Again,
can I add?
Okay, go ahead, Ms. Ben.
For additional information, there's actually a website, bioasiataiwan.com, so you can actually check it out for additional details regarding the actual activity or event. So please check it out for additional information, because as it is right now, we're still compiling information from Director Anthony, right, Gail? So, but I
That's
know
correct.
but I know that there's a website where you can get hold of additional information. But of course, Gail will send out additional information as we get this from Director Anthony. Thank you.
That's right, Ms. Ben. So, and again, we will be sending the survey, if not today, early next week, so that we could gauge the participation of HIMAP, and also there will be details in the survey as well. So please wait for it, and please send back the survey forms as soon as you can. Thank you so much.
And I know PTIC normally has a minimum, right, for it to be worth it for the booth expenses. We're very grateful to our government partners for paying for it. Gail, did they mention how many member companies are they hoping can attend to be part of the delegation?
Actually, there's only 5 minimum requirement, 5 companies.
Okay. Great. Wonderful. All right, with that, thank you very much, Gail, for your presentation of the Marketing Committee. Next up, I would like to call Mr. Anshum Sinha, our HIMAP trustee, for the update on the Roadmap 2028 project in partnership with DICT.
Thanks, Julian. Jerry, if you can move, thank you. So we continue to remain focused in terms of these two projects that we had taken on as we got into this year. The 5-year roadmap, including clinical research, we joined forces with IBPAP, and they introduced us to Everest. That's the consulting firm that IBPAP chose to do that 5-year roadmap project. We've had multiple meetings with them. Cherry, if you can go to the next slide, that would illustrate the, yeah. So we've had multiple meetings with Everest. We've given them an overview of what we are looking at. I got the first draft, which we have gone through. It's on the right track. So it does cover the total addressable market of healthcare services industry, the complexity that has evolved over the years and how that complexity has started reflecting in the outsourcing industry as well, which is where we come in. So that covers all of it. We had a subsequent meeting with Everest and some of the IBPAP members around the talent mapping. So what are the gaps in terms of talent availability and the demands of the healthcare outsourcing industry, and what can be done there. We are working with them to include that in the roadmap as well. And finally, we are also now working with them to include the clinical trials industry in the roadmap and what opportunities are there, and what we as an industry and what recommendations we have for the location as a geography to evolve to be able to support that. So good work going on there. I think the product would be better than what we did last time, in terms of the roadmap that was presented. The reason being the HIMAP, or the healthcare information management industry in Philippines, has grown tremendously. In the past, it was primarily medical transcription and some other workflows. Now, as you all know, that the member companies do much complex work and a vast array of work, right? So we wanted that to be reflected in this roadmap, so that when it goes out to the rest of the world, they can see as to what we are doing here in Philippines. Ms. Peng, would you like to add anything to that?
I think you have stated everything that they need to know.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks, Anshan.
Thanks. On the second project, which is the talent mapping in the country, we are working on finalizing the vendor that we will go with. We have shortlisted 5 vendors who have local presence and have pan-Philippines reach. We'll start meeting them in the next 1 month and then shortlist down to 1 vendor who will do that for us. So hopefully by Q4, we would have that research or study ready as well. For that, we have the funding from the government of Philippines. That's all from me. If there are any questions, I'll be happy to take that. All right, Julian, back to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Anshum. It's just a quick question actually from me, if that's all right. Was there a timeline in terms of the release of the Everest report? I know, in terms of the roadmap, Everest has done a great job on the Contact Center Association side. Very much looking forward to see how that translates in the HIMAP side.
Yeah, I think they're targeting releasing that report end Q3, early Q4. Obviously, all the member associations are involved in that report, so I'm sure all of them are going through the motions of getting the data together. But I'm pretty excited about the output specifically for HIMAP this year, because it will be much more broad-based. It will bring in much more in-depth analysis of where we stand, what is the total addressable market that we as member industry companies can go for, and things like that.
Absolutely. I think that's very critical, and looking forward to seeing that report, I guess, before the end of the year. Thank you very much, Anshu.
Yeah, in addition to that, Julian, I think IBPAP is targeting completion of the report or the study before their annual event, the IBPAP event, which normally is held in October. So I think that's their target.
Understood.
Okay.
Thank you, Anshum, and thank you, Ms. Bang. All right, Cherry. I guess the next person does not need to be introduced. Our chairwoman, our chair and board of trustee for HIMAP, Ms. Bang Coronel.
Thank you, Julian. So good afternoon, everyone, and thanks really for joining us today, our second quarter GMM. You've heard from our hardworking trustees regarding the various initiatives that they had been busy with. And if you will notice, the initiatives are really focused on 3 areas. One is really growing our industry through capability and skill set development. The second is really growing the market beyond US through creating awareness of our value proposition. Gail mentioned that we're actually looking at Europe and other areas that are still potential market for our service providers here in the Philippines. So I guess it is important at this point in time to really create awareness, because through all of the DTI feedback that we have been receiving, there's minimal information about our industry and our industry association for that matter. So it's about time we actually don't keep it as a secret that we do have those capabilities here in the Philippines. So that's really creating a market beyond US. That's our next focus area. And of course, the third one is really expanding our services beyond what we currently offer. And as Anshu mentioned, it's actually more than what we are seeing right now, especially with the development of a lot of things in our space today. And in fact, in the life sciences area, we have not touched that so much, but the opportunities are simply great. And so part of the roadmap study is really defining the potential of all of these types of services. And hopefully, as we state all of these services that are possible, we can now also pin down what skill set do we need so that we can now upskill our people, create those capabilities, and really be able to propel our future growth. I think that's what we all are trying to do. It's really bringing our industry higher, and even the business, of course, the businesses that we are leading. So I think we need continued support from everyone. And I hope, and as we are seeing, you have been providing them, but we are pushing for some more support, because we know that every time we have surveys or every time we have conferences, we can name the participants, but we want to try to reach out to more because they're missing a lot. Don't you agree with me? They're missing a lot of benefits from all of these initiatives and all the projects and programs that we have. So I hope we can continue on to create awareness first amongst our members that we do have a lot of opportunities, and join us so that we can realize all of these opportunities. And by the way, thanks to Pacific Cross for your presentation. It was very informative. Although I got scared, and I'm trying to check now my insurance coverage, knowing that I'm a senior citizen, it's quite limited at this point in time. So maybe for those that are not yet in that level, do get your insurance coverage. And to the new members, thank you for joining our association. And as Mario has been asking already, and I see his real interest in really joining us. So I hope, that becomes you sustain that interest, and we will certainly appreciate your joining us as we bring our industry to really higher growth and be the supreme industry and the best healthcare industry in the world. So thank you very much, and have a good day.
Thank you too.
Thank you very much, Ms. Beng. And that concludes our general membership meeting for Q2. As you can see, our HIMAP trustees have been very busy. And I echo what Ms. Beng said. We need to be able to broadcast these efforts and make sure that we're more inclusive with the members who are not here. And I would encourage, if we're going to test out more in-person events or do hybrid events, I think that also, there is a sort of secret sauce, I think, when we network. And that's something that has been missing now for a couple of years. And I will say that when you see it in action, that's the secret of HIMAP. So with that, thank you very much for all those who participated today. We appreciate your time. And we wrap this up exactly on time. I think we normally end with a picture. So for those who are online, if you can turn on your videos, it would be great for a...
yeah, by the way, Julian, I forgot to thank you. It has been a wonderful afternoon with you as our moderator. Never a dull moment. So thank you, Julian.
My pleasure.
Thank you, Julian. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Vince.
Okay, sure, Cherry.
Right.
Okay, so we're ready for the photo shoot. At the count of 3. 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay, and we will have one more. Hold a minute for the next one. Okay, at the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Nice to
Happy
see you.
weekend, everyone. Happy
We'll call
weekend.
it.
Great
Nice to see you
day.
again.
Happy weekend. Happy
Happy
weekend,
weekend.
everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.